which may have a contributing factor to why we're getting these palettes in the mystery boxes. Oh, I've been wanting to try these. Hello everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Welcome back to my channel. So my camera died and luckily I was only about 3 minutes into the video. I didn't even get a chance to open the box and camera just shut off and died, and I went back and looked and it did record, or should I say it didn't save anything that I just recorded. So luckily it's not that far in. I'm able to start again and at least I get to say hello to you twice. What I was saying was I saw that. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see if I can remember, because I was really on a roll. I had seen a while back that Mel Cosmetics was having a mystery box. I saw a few people open it, and it was pretty reasonably priced, but I have to be very, very strategic about what I'm spending my money on. I have to spend a certain amount so that I don't get killed in taxes at the end of the year, and then of course I can't spend too much so that I can't pay my rent every month. So it's a very, it's a very slippery slope. But this box, they had two of them. I think one was $75 and this particular one was $25. Let me hold it up so you can see. I had let it go because at the time I didn't have the money, and then I saw another video of somebody opening it and I went and checked and they still had them available. I was like, you know what, for $25 it's really not a bad deal. It did say that I was going to get a palette in here, which absolutely blew my mind. On top of that, the Millennial Pink palette, which I know didn't do very well, but I am a sucker. The color story was definitely very, very, very pretty, if I can get the words out, and it was originally $58. Get this, it was on sale for $12. I'm going to try to get this video up in the next couple of days so that if it's still available and if you're able and still want to, you can get it. I only own, I think, 2 Melt Cosmetics palettes. One of them is discontinued. It was a very pretty palette, but the way it closed, it had like levels. The very thick palettes about like this. I don't even know if I've found it as of yet after going through all of my stuff, but I'm looking over there because that's where my palettes are. In order to keep these shadows from not contaminating each other, but touching each other, there are plastic slits, what? Plastic things that go over the shadows, but because it's like a stepped palette, they don't stay in place, and it's just very cumbersome, very difficult to deal with. That is neither here nor there. Right now we are here to talk about this little guy. I'm assuming that in here is going to be the palette plus the mystery box stuff. I've got my little paw blade, and let's get into this. I like their boxes. There's a little bit of extra detail in there, and they're not just sending just a plain cardboard box, which is appreciated. So here is the Millennial Pink palette that I still cannot believe was on sale for $12 from $58. That speaks volumes to certain things, doesn't it? Oh, very, very pretty packaging. This is the NARS soft matte type packaging, and this is raised and textured. It's just the outer carton and it has a lovely feel to it. I'm hoping that the inner carton is the same. It's a lot longer than I thought it might be. I was expecting it to be the size of, say, the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. The cardboard is not necessarily that soft matte feel to it, but it is identical, and this is also raised, and on the back it's, you can see in silver, it's a little reflective, and it just says the Millennial, oh, it's Millennial Pinx with an X. You know, I didn't even realize that. And yeah, as I suspected, this is a very, very pretty palette. Very reminiscent of the Naked palettes in their layout and presentation. I wouldn't say that it is grouped, here, let me take this off. I wouldn't say that it's grouped into color stories per se, but of course you can always do whatever you want. Please don't mind this, I do have a scar patch on my hand and I need to leave it there so I can get rid of said scar, so kindly try to ignore that. That's why I'm not swatching on this hand. But let's do some of these. I don't know if I want to swatch the whole palette, but these are very deep, dark colors. Yes, they do seem slightly out of place, but I'm not minding them because I think they're going to add depth to any of the other looks that you do. Okay, they seem like a bit of a weak swatch. They weren't excessively powdery, but I will be curious to see how those perform on the eyes. As I said, this palette did not do well overall according to the opinions on the internet, which don't always mean jack, but you know. This one's called Euphoria and this one is called Girlfriend. The shimmers or metallics seem slightly dry, and it is again quite a weak swatch for a metallic. You can barely see it. I've had silvers that shine like the Tin Man, so that's just a touch disappointing. And that one's called Moon Glow. It's really quite sheer. This Ruby Spar seems quite a bit more substantial. Yeah, see the difference in how that went on? Oh, that looks to be a little bit duochromy if my eyes don't deceive me. And that silver just swatched weakly. Now this matte called Pink Leather and this other one called Mixed Emotions. Oh, Mixed Emotions is also swatching very much weakly like the silver. There they are there. I don't know. I'm going to judge for myself because while opinions are helpful, I think that they are a guide, and sometimes I have to find out for myself. And for $12, either $12 or $12.50, you know, it was to me a risk worth taking. ColourPop palettes are more than that. Hopefully I will be able to give you an opinion soon. I have quite a few palettes over here that I want to really concentrate on trying and let you know my opinion on those. And let's all say a prayer that I don't get lipstick on my teeth today because I'm just not in the mood for it. Okay, this is the bundle that you were getting for the $25, and indeed there is a large palette in here. Again, that soft matte packaging, and this is called an Ultra Matte Gel Liner. I have not tried their liners before. Obviously, this is one that you're going to need a liner brush for. Everything's freezing. Oh my goodness, it's like an icicle. Here it is. Looks like Black Carvel. I want to see if... Oh, okay. You don't need water for it. Very, very smooth. Absolutely. Let me... get a liner brush and see how it works with the liner brush. This is not my finest tipped liner brush, but it's the one that I grabbed, so I want to try it with that. Now, if I were to put this on my eyes, I would most definitely wipe it on my hand first so I could be a little bit more precise. Let's see how she does. It applied beautifully. Now, those are not precise lines because I didn't attempt to make them precise lines. But I'm excited to use this because one of my favorite gel pot eyeliners is this one from Vintage Cosmetics. I absolutely loved the old-timey inkwell appearance. I don't even know if this one is still good. I haven't used it in a while, but of course you can't see it, but there was quite a dip in there because I was really liking it. And when you use these with the Duraline from Inglot, Duraline is like this magical thing that could turn anything that is dried out into a miracle use product, in my opinion. So this is fabulous. I will be putting the prices and the names of the items up on the screen as I go along. Okay, the next thing I have is this. I think I may have this already. This might be from a collection that I purchased the palette from. Let me see. This is called Familia. Yes, I do have this already. It is a lip liner and a beautiful purple. I remember that Clara, I think, had this, and this color looks so gorgeous on her. Let me see if I can find mine. I can't find it because obviously all of my makeup is still not unpacked. I didn't want them because I knew I wasn't really going to wear those colors, but they were sold out of the palette. I really wanted the palette, and all they had left was the bundle with the lip liners and the palette. So that's the reason I made that choice. So I'm going to put this aside for a giveaway. The next thing, this is obviously going to be a lipstick. I'm wondering if it is going to match. I think this is Recuerdos. R's are so hard for me to say. I can't roll my R's. I've never been able to, which is why I'm not a linguist. The packaging, of course, is beautiful, and one thing I do love is that the inside of the packages is velvet. That is an extra touch that I think they go above and beyond Again, the outside packaging of the lipstick is beautiful, rather the component. This is all raised. Yes, this is a purple. Really don't wear purple lipstick. At least the liner and the lipstick go together. Oh, and magnetic. I mean, really. I'm wondering, would I ever wear purple lipstick? I don't know, but it is beautiful. Oh, I've been wanting to try these. This is the Melt Cream Blush Lights. I've been looking at them on Sephora for a long time. Beautiful packaging. Again, not as soft matte as the other. And this is in Daydreamer. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good color. Very, very pretty, very sleek. Oh yes, I will be able to wear that color. That is gorgeous. I like the fact that it has a mirror. This is quite lightweight, but I'm not minding it. And oh, these feel absolutely gorgeous. And that is a color. There it is blended out. I'm going to do another just one swipe swatch here so you can see that's it intense, and this is it blended out. It has a very gel-like light texture to it. I even think that this will go on well on top of powders. So you can blend it out nicely. I'm going to be very excited to try this. And so far, just as a first impression, I think it's lovely. Already, I think I have gotten my $25 worth, even if the lipstick and the lip pencil are not colors I would generally enjoy. I think the blush and the liner so far are amazing. Oh, and this is, I was going to say from Melt Cosmetics. Obviously, Leann, obviously it's from Melt Cosmetics. It is the Rust palette. I don't remember how I felt about this. Remember, I can't go out and buy every single release from every single brand, or else yours truly would not have any money left to her. This moderately soft matte, I think it's very fall-like with the gold leaves. This has some texture to it. All of the gold appliques here are raised. They have texture to them, and it's beautiful. Ooh, how pretty. I can't bend this back all the way, but that is very neutral and very beautiful. That yellow mustardy color is really, really quite beautiful. Let's see how she swatches. See, now that swatched extremely intensely, and that's just a gorgeous, I don't know, grungy color that I never used to be into, but I'm very much getting into different color stories, just having fun. You are getting just 3 shimmers in here, and I think they're shimmers that will probably go with any of the colors. I like that they have a color with some depth. That orange one is called Erode. I am going to swatch this whole palette because why not? I have to say, for being so closely matched to my skin tone, it's really pretty, and this is not working out the way I planned. I'm going to have to rotate my arm upside down and backwards. That's called Classic. That is called Antique. The most ridiculous swatch over my wrist bone, but that is called Rubbish, and that yellow are going to be such complementary colors to each other, like that mustard. Oh, I'm so excited to try that. This is one of the metallics. Now that one swatched beautifully. It has some substance to it, unlike the ones from the Millennial palette. And that one is called Tarnish. It is the first of the metallics or shimmers. This is the namesake of the palette. That is Rust. It's swatched beautifully, not overly powdery. This metallic is very, very chunky, but it's substantial. And I'm not getting a lot of powderiness on my hand, and that's called Redox. Look at the intenseness of that. I'm just curious how a company can have such varying formulas. To me, when you find a formula that works, I say stick with it. That's called Mar. That's a beautiful chocolatey brown, and I'm noticing something, and I'm going to point it out to you in just a minute, which may have a contributing factor to why we're getting these palettes in the mystery boxes. I may have been clued in, and it's not, I'll explain in a minute. Getting on to the last metallic, which is called Ravage. That is another beautiful brown metallic. And the last one is called Rot Squared. Interesting name. Also slightly powdery in the pan, but the swatch is not powdery. I'm not getting a ton of fallout when I put it on my hand. I mean my arm. Okay. So I think that's a gorgeous fall color story that I'm going to enjoy and have a lot of fun with. I'm hoping that the quality on the eyes is going to be just as much. I just realized what I said. Just as much as what? Again, sometimes the words that come out, I'm thinking that they don't have a chance to properly form in the brain. So overall, this swatched tremendously better than the Millennial Pink palette. The true test is going to be to see how they each perform on the eyes. And I want to look at the formulas. I'm hoping that maybe on the website they might be able to give me a generalized formula so I can see if the formula in the Millennial Pink palette is any different from this. Could it have a lot to do with maybe the pressing and things like that? All of those can come into factor when we're talking about how an eyeshadow performs. If it's pressed too loosely, it's going to be all over the place. If it's pressed too tightly, you're not going to be able to get any up on your finger or a brush. But now let's discuss why I think that these palettes were in the box, at least this particular one. Honestly, I don't remember what the other people got in their boxes, whether they got this palette or another. Unfortunately, my brain doesn't allow me to do things like that. But let's take a very, very close look here. I'm going to hold it this way so that you can see. I want you guys to take a close look at the names. I'm going to hold it quite still. Let's see if I can get it all in frame. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's all in frame. Now I want you to take a very close look at the names and you guys tell me what is off. I will give you a second and then I'm going to point it out to you. So obviously, I gave you a second. In making this palette, something must have been off. Obviously, the palette was not aligned properly when they were stamping the names onto the palette. It's off by, let's see, maybe a centimeter, but all of the names are shifted this way and they do not line up with the pans. That's not a big deal. I also believe that this palette was originally $58. So does that bother me to get it in a mystery box for $25 that the names are maybe a centimeter off of their palettes? No, I can still tell what the names are. I still definitely know everything that is supposed to be in here, but it's an imperfection in the palette. And maybe they tried to sell the palettes at a discounted price and it wasn't working, so they figured let's put them into a mystery box. I have a couple of things to say. Quite ingenious on their part to rid themselves of some palettes that they may not have been able to get rid of, because if I paid $58 and that happened, I would probably complain and want a discount or something, because for any type of money I think that you want it to be in perfect order. In perfection, you're paying for something new. So the fact that they did this was very smart. I think the quality is going to be excellent. I think the color story is excellent. And everything else that they threw in is also excellent. But let's go over what I got for my $25. I can't imagine what was in the $75 one. I got this Rust palette. I got the cream blush light, which I am so excited about. I got the Melt Ultra Matte Gel Liner in black. It's a perfect color. It's a color that I think everyone's going to wear. I got this beautiful lipstick. I suddenly developed an Italian accent. I'm not going to try to pronounce it again because I can't roll my gosh darn R's. And I got the matching lip pencil. For the $25, this absolutely blew my mind. I can't wait to see whether they were all the same. If you guys know, please let me know down below, because I might be willing to risk buying another one if they're not all the same. Now I really want to try to get this up as soon as possible so that if you guys are able and want to purchase it, you'll be able to. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts below. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and going through this with me. You are all amazingly wonderful people that I am so gosh darn grateful for. You have no idea. And of course, my friends, whatever part of the world you're in on around, I hope you're having an amazing day and an amazing night, depending upon when you are watching this. And I will see you in my next video. Come back and visit. Okay, love you guys. Bye.